The request came from the United Kingdom, from our brothers and sisters in the UK, different cities and towns there. The question is a little explicit, a little graphic. Not too bad, but a little graphic, a little explicit. So for the faint of heart, you don't want to necessarily listen to this, or children, if children are watching. But if you want your children to learn about the harsh realities of life, then that's a different story. The question is regarding, I don't have my phone with me right now. The question is regarding the COVID-19 lockdown and the quarantine and people being jobless, schoolless, uh, being at home. And the exact term that was used or mentioned, the exact word was people are roasting. People are roasting. And we were in the UK, our last trip, we were in London. They explained to us what they mean when they say the term someone's roasting or rinsing, etc. So it was a question, if my memory serves me correctly, from a sister. She says she longs for her husband, she desires her husband is traveling, working, or whatever the case may be, and she fears of falling into some type of haram or some type of bad act. Is it permissible for her to live stream her husband and to masturbate for her husband, or for him to live stream her and to masturbate for her? Is that permissible, so on and so forth? In brief, I would say this, and Allah surely knows best. Um, the scholars of Islam, you can go on Mufti Q&A and find a few videos, inshallah, in which we've discussed some of these serious questions or X-rated questions before. And for the immature people, or people Allah knows best what's in their hearts, Allahu alam, yani if you don't have the ability to answer the questions, or to get the questions answered, or the knowledge, or the heart, or the courage, don't necessarily criticize those who do. And you shouldn't, inshallah ta'ala, make things a means of mockery or some type of childish, immature laughter, cutting and pasting, and trying to make something look like it's not, all right? The Prophet, as we have explained in many videos before, in Toronto years ago, he dealt with many issues pertaining to sexuality. He answered many questions pertaining to matters of intimacy, parts of the anatomy, many hadiths. So Allah tells in the Quran, خُلِقَ مِن مَاءٍ دَافِقٍ. Allah says that man is made from ma'in dafiqin, from water that spurts forth, water that pushes out, water that's pushed out, water that gushes forth. And that's talking about an ejaculation, all right? And there are many, many other things as well. So we've explained that. You can go back to those videos, the permissibility of discussing certain things in certain lights. And it doesn't mean that you're lewd or you lack shyness. It doesn't mean that. We've explained that already. So you can go to Mufti Q&A for some of those questions, some of those answers. I would say in brief that this question, the answer is a three-pronged answer. Inshallah ta'ala, three-tier answer. Number one, what is the ruling, what's the Islamic ruling on masturbating? Number two, what is the ruling on live streaming and talking to your wife or your husband using a live stream, using a video? All right. And number three, what are the harms or dangers or potential harms and dangers of taking some type of X-rated movie or video or interaction for your wife or your spouse, etc.? So those are the three main issues. I'm going to try to simplify things. Wallahu alam. As far as the first issue, then the speech of the ulama of Islam, the scholars of Islam regarding masturbation is well known. Well known. We've mentioned many answers. The scholars have spoken on this for a very long time. There's some scholars who wrote books on it, such as the Shawkani rahimahullah ta'ala. He wrote a book on al-istimna, the ruling on masturbation. Can you or can you not masturbate? There are many athar in the Musannaf of Abd Razak and others. They talked about can a man pour out his own water? The scholars of Islam have spoken on the rulings of masturbation in detail. And there are different views, as we've explained. Some say that it's haram, absolutely. Period. Others say it's permissible, absolutely. And others may say it's permissible with regards to husband and wife. Husband and wife together. In the presence of each other, they're allowed to masturbate for each other or to masturbate each other. Some of them, they have mentioned that. And all of those scholars have their proofs and their evidences. Their proofs and their evidences, the dalil for that, which we won't mention, as we normally don't mention in the Q&As. Tight, move forward. So therefore, if you consider masturbation to be haram, then it's going to be haram to live stream with your wife. If you consider it to be halal, then you're a step closer to the live streaming being halal. Moving forward, we have advised many times before to stay away from masturbation. You should avoid it, especially when you're by yourself. You should stay away from it. Some scholars say that it's best than actual zina. Of course, self-control and taqwa is the best cure and the best remedy. Khairan, inshallah. Live streaming. Can you live stream your wife? If live streaming is haram, if it's a surah, kullu musawwirin finnar, okay, all musawwirs will be in the hellfire, then of course it's impermissible to use a video to talk to your wife or your husband. As far as if using the camera is not haram and it's permissible and it's not what's meant by those hadiths, then it's permissible to live stream your wife or to live stream your husband. And we've explained the rulings of taswir in some type of detail as well in other videos. So that's step number 2. And the khilaf of that is like the khilaf of the first point. Whatever view or opinion that you follow with regards to using a camera or using some type of means of photography or making a video or making a live stream. All right? If she's your wife, if he's your husband, then it's permissible. I call my wife, I live stream her, Assalamu alaikum, how you doing, honey? How's it going? Honey-do, honey melon, whatever you call your wife or your husband, boo, babe, whatever. Zoj, Zoja, king, whatever you call your husband or wife. My queen, whatever. You talk to her, you see her without a niqab, she sees you live streaming your wife. If live streaming is permissible, it's based off of what's lawful between husband and wife. Number 3, third point would be the security of this. Is it permissible to live stream your wife and you're naked? Live stream your husband and you're naked? You're masturbating for your wife, you're masturbating for your husband. Are there people watching it? Do people have access to your phone? Are there non-Muslims and Muslims who can look into your phone? Your child walks in on you. You make a video, a hot steamy video for your husband who's overseas, a hot steamy video for your wife who's in another country or city, and then later on someone hacks your phone. Someone has access to your phone. Someone's watching your phone. Or you get divorced from your wife. She's not my wife no more. I have nothing to do with that woman. I talaq that chick. She's no longer my wife, right? But she still has those hot steamy videos that you made for her. Or that she saved the live stream that you made for her. Or the FaceTime, she screenshotted it. Or whatever the case may be. Now what? Okay? Or vice versa. He's your husband today, but he's the best person in the world. He's the best brother, the most pious, the most righteous, the most handsome. And the next day, he's a dirty, sinful dog. We all know what happens when people get divorced. They go from hot to cold, cold to hot. You love the person with all your heart. And the next thing you know, there's no good in them whatsoever. And you want to take revenge against them. So I want to show these people on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or any other social media platform that this sheikh is not the righteous sheikh that you think he is. I have footage, I have screenshots, I have text messages, I have videos of him talking like this and saying this and doing this and recording that. What happens if and when that takes place? So that is definitely something to be mindful of. That is definitely something to be mindful of. And Allah clearly prohibits us. He says, وَلَا تَنْسَوْا الْفَضْلَ بَيْنَكُمْ. Don't forget the virtue that you had among each other. Allah mentions this. Not to be spiteful. Look, things didn't work out between me and the sister. May Allah bless her. And that's it. Class, move forward. You don't got to dog the sister out. Don't dog the brother out. Call him bad names. Say he's a sinner. Say he's evil. Just because you don't like him no more, or you do like him but you're not with him, doesn't mean you should try to drag the person through the mud. And many people, they do this, unfortunately. I don't study with this brother anymore, so he's the worst person in the world. I don't study with this sister no more. She's the worst teacher in the world. I'm not this person's teacher anymore, so they were never my student. They have... Don't throw mud. Don't be spiteful. Don't have that nasty animosity as a Muslim, all right? Don't do that, inshallah ta'ala. So therefore, those are the 3 parts of the question, or the answer, and I would say, and of course, safety is to leave it alone, but to say it's impermissible is difficult. That's your wife, that's your husband. And if you're worrying about someone uploading something or taking a screenshot or spilling the beans or letting the cat out the bag, spreading your dirty laundry over social media, taking your dirt and giving it to the world, then you have a major fundamental problem with trusting your wife or trusting your husband. And what's the purpose of you being married to someone that you can't trust? Of course, there are levels of trust. Certain things you may trust a person with, certain things you don't. But if you're going to expose my nakedness to people, our intimate love relationship, you're going to spread it to the world? If you have to worry about that, then Allahu Alam, yani, you have fundamental cracks in your marriage frame that you have to be mindful of. All right? So at the end of the day, if you hold the view that masturbation is permissible, if you hold the view that the video camera is permissible, if that's your wife or your husband, you trust that person, and you feel falling to haram, you're at home, you're roasting or rinsing or whatever the case may be, that's between you and your spouse. And if you want to stay away and use precaution, then you use precaution. But at the end of the day, keeping it real, guys, husband and wives talk on the phone. Husband and wives, they FaceTime. Husband and wives, they do WhatsApps. Or what it is. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. What do you got on your phone? You have a passcode on your phone. You have a discrete screen on your phone. Keep it real. It's a husband and wife. I can't make zina. It's a million people outside who want to make zina. It's zina in music, movies, cartoons, the cereal box. Everything is zina. Rather homosexuality now. Lesbianism. A person that's surrounded, engulfed, enveloped by haram sexual desires. And now you're telling me that I can't have no type of permissible fun with my wife or my husband? It's going to be rather difficult. And it's best for a couple to FaceTime each other and to be intimate virtually or sexting, texting on, or whatever the case may be, than them falling to direct haram. All right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala surely knows best. And like I said before, you can't lose by avoiding it. You can't lose by avoiding it. And Allah knows best. Right?